You are standing on the precipice of Gotham City, not the gleaming metropolis you know today, but a shadowy urban labyrinth born from the anxieties of the 1930s. A world desperate for order, yet teetering on the brink of moral collapse. Here, amidst the Art Deco spires and rain, slicked alleys, a legend was forged. But what if the icon you recognize, the brooding symbol of justice, is merely the surface of a much stranger, darker, and more convoluted truth? For decades, the Caped Crusader has haunted the public imagination, a constant in an ever-changing world. Yet, the true chronicle of his existence, a narrative as sprawling and unpredictable as any ancient dynasty, remains largely untold. Prepare to delve into the bizarre, the forgotten, and the truly insane facts about the one they call Batman. Did you know that Batman wasn't always the stoic, no-kill detective he is today? His very first appearance in May 1939 showcased a hero far more ruthless. In one panel, he actually kicks a villain into a vat of acid, remarking, "A fitting end for his kind." This initial, brutal iteration challenges every modern perception of his moral code. Consider the origin of his iconic name itself. While Batman feels inevitable now, early concepts by his co-creators, Bob Kane and Bill Finger, flirted with monikers like Batman and even the Batman. The hyphen eventually vanished, streamlining him into the singular force we recognize. His very first costume, sketched by Bob Kane, was startlingly different. It featured stiff, bat-like wings that resembled an actual creature, not the flowing cape we've come to expect. It was Bill Finger who suggested the now legendary cape cowl and utility belt, reshaping a potentially clumsy design into an emblem of fear and mystery. Imagine a Batman who carried a gun. Early in his career, he frequently wielded firearms, a stark contrast to his later, ironclad vow against them. This gun-toting vigilante was quickly reined in by editor Whitney Ellsworth, who understood the character's potential as a more morally upright hero. Did you know his sidekick, Robin, almost didn't happen? Introduced in 1940, Robin was a desperate attempt to lighten Batman's dark tone and boost flagging sales. The introduction of the boy wonder sparked a sensation, proving that even the darkest night sometimes needed a splash of primary color. His original backstory, presented in, establishes the murder of his parents, Thomas and Martha Wayne. Yet, for a time, their killer was simply an anonymous mugger. It wasn't until later retellings, and the iconic by Frank Miller, that Joe Chill became a name burned into the legend, forever tying a face to Bruce Wayne's seminal trauma. The bat signal, that iconic beacon cutting through Gotham's perpetual gloom, wasn't always a primary form of contact. In the earliest comics, Commissioner Gordon would often just call the Wayne Manor, knowing Bruce Wayne was Batman. This casual relationship speaks volumes about the early, less secretive days of his crime fighting. His arch nemesis, the Joker, had a surprisingly abrupt introduction and almost an even more abrupt exit. Appearing in, the Joker was initially slated to die in that very issue. Thankfully, editor Whitney Ellsworth intervened, realizing the character's twisted genius, thus preserving one of the greatest rivalries in fiction. Consider the early Batmobile. It wasn't the sleek, armored beast of later years. In the 1940s, Batman often drove a generic red Roadster or even a simple sedan, a far cry from the technologically advanced fortress on wheels you picture today. The truly distinctive Batmobile emerged much later, reflecting the increasing sophistication of his arsenal. Did you know Batman once had a temporary, giant penny in the Batcave? This enormous coin, a trophy from an early encounter with a villain named the Penny Plunderer, became an inexplicable yet iconic piece of Batcave decor for decades. For a brief period in the 1950s, Batman and Robin were joined by a character called Batwoman, and later Batgirl, to deflect public scrutiny and accusations of homosexuality against the dynamic duo. These characters, Kathy Kane and Betty Kane, were created as romantic interests, highlighting a strange, almost absurd, chapter in Batman's publication history. Imagine Bruce Wayne's surprising career choice outside of vigilantism. In the 1950s, Batman briefly served as a police officer in. This peculiar stint saw him working within the very system he often operated outside of, a decision that feels utterly foreign to his lone wolf persona. His rogues gallery, now one of the most acclaimed in all fiction, started with characters far less sophisticated than the likes of the Riddler or Two-Face. Early villains included the Monk, a vampire-like figure, and Dr. Death, a mad scientist, showcasing the pulp horror influences of his formative years. Did you know Batman once wore a rainbow suit? He donned a series of brightly colored costumes: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and violet, to distract attention from Robin, who had broken his arm. This sartorial choice is a truly insane, yet strangely endearing footnote in his history. The original Batcave wasn't always a high-tech fortress. It began as a simple barn inn, evolving over time into the sprawling underground complex we know, complete with supercomputers, laboratories, and the iconic giant dinosaur robot. Consider the existence of Ace the Bat-Hound. Yes, Batman had a canine sidekick, a German shepherd rescued by Bruce Wayne, and Ace even wore a cowl-like mask, adding another layer of bizarre charm to the Silver Age era of Batman comics. For a period in the 1960s, a strange alien named Bat-Mite frequently visited Batmine. This impish, fifth-dimensional being possessed reality, warping powers, and would often try to help Batman in bizarre and chaotic ways. Bat-Mite stands as a testament to the utterly whimsical, almost psychedelic, tone of some comic eras. Did you know Batman once traveled through time to save Abraham Lincoln? He and Superman journeyed to the past to thwart a plot against the former president. This absurd adventure showcases the limitless, often outlandish, scope of early superhero narratives. His martial arts prowess wasn't always his primary skill. While Bruce Wayne has always been a formidable fighter, the intense focus on his mastery of 127 martial arts forms, as detailed in and other modern stories, is a relatively recent development, solidifying his status as peak human. The iconic utility belt, a seemingly endless source of gadgets, initially contained far simpler tools. It wasn't until later, with writers like Dennis O'Neil and artists like Neil Adams in the 1970s, that the belt became a sophisticated tactical marvel, a reflection of the character's evolving intelligence and preparedness. Imagine a version of Batman who was actually a real bat. In the comic series, Bruce Wayne is transformed into a literal vampire, bat hybrid, embracing his nocturnal nature in the most literal and terrifying way imaginable. Did you know the character of Alfred Pennyworth, Batman's loyal butler, wasn't always the wise, paternal figure? When he first appeared Alfred was a bumbling, overweight detective. It was a continuity error in the film serials that led to his slender, more distinguished look, which was then adopted by the comics. The bat signal was initially more of a novelty than a necessity. Early comics saw Gordon using a variety of methods to contact Batman, including a red telephone. The consistent reliance on the projected signal, a symbol of hope and fear, evolved over time, cementing its place in the mythos. Consider the time Batman operated as part of the Justice League International, a team that featured Booster Gold and Blue Beetle. This era, known for its humor and lighter tone, saw Batman serving alongside a roster of often goofy heroes, a stark contrast to his usual grim demeanor within the more serious Justice League iterations. His earliest costume design, as conceptualized by Bob Kane, included a red jumpsuit. This vibrant choice, which Finger immediately nixed in favor of a darker gray, speaks to the revolutionary shift in thinking that truly birthed the shadowy figure of Batman. Had Kane's initial vision been realized, the Dark Knight might have been the Scarlet Sentinel. These insane facts reveal a character constantly in flux, shaped by different eras, creators, and cultural expectations. From a gun-toting vigilante to a rainbow-suited adventurer, Batman's history is a testament to the power of adaptation and reinvention. His journey from a pulp fiction hero to a global phenomenon reflects a profound cultural fascination with justice, vengeance, and the enduring struggle against chaos. You thought you knew the Dark Knight, but the shadow he cast today is merely the latest chapter in a legend far stranger and more profound than you could ever imagine.